I got to tell you, not only am I proud to stand here today, but I have working for me every day, someone I get to spend hours with, countless hours with every day. If you see me, you see him, typically. And he is a graduate of Denver Kids. I'm going to tell you, when we walk in the rooms, he is typically much more popular than I am. Everybody comes up to this guy and says, "Hey, Nigel." I'm like, everybody knows this guy. But to know Nigel is to really appreciate who he is and to know his full story. He is a young person like many young people that you work with every day who has beat the odds, first to graduate from college from his family, overcome the issues of a poor, low-income family, difficult neighborhood to grow up in. The odds were stacked against him, but there was something about him, inside of him, that says, I too can rise to the occasion. And a caring adult entered his life from Denver Kids to help lift him up, to give him that boost. Today, he serves as my executive assistant. He's traveled the world with me, this nation. He makes sure that my tie is straight, that everything we have is ready to go, and I can't do my job. I cannot imagine turning to my left or the right and not seeing Nigel there. He is so much more than what he does for a living. He can do so much more. But I want you to know today we can look at this next speaker as a shining example of what Denver Kids does in preparing the next generation of leaders to step forward. I'm so excited to bring him to the podium as your next speaker. It's kind of weird that I'm introducing this guy who takes care of me. But he not only is a guy who takes care of me, but he's also my friend. And I am so proud. Every time I look at him, I know he is a success story in Denver, from Denver Public Schools, from Denver Kids, from Denver Scholars. This is Nigel Daniels. Let's welcome him to the stage.
Boy, that's a first. Thank you, Mayor. That means a lot, seriously. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, so I'm going to open up with a quote. Nobody trips over mountains. It is small pebbles that cause you to stumble. Pass all the pebbles in your path, and you will find that you have crossed the mountain. You may be wondering what that quote has to do with me standing here in front of you today. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm reaching that summit. My name is Nigel. I'm born right here in Denver, Colorado, to an incredible single mother, Cora Daniels. We lived poor, but Mama was a hard-working woman, one of the hardest I've ever seen. And at times, unfortunately, her hard work didn't always pay out, and we found ourselves homeless. Me and my brother Nate worked hard and stayed close to make sure that we could do what we had to do, but my mama always made sure that we had the bare necessities to get by and move on to the next day. Health, safety, shelter, that was her focus. You know, and other times when we did have a roof over our head and we lived in permanent housing, I unfortunately had to live in constant fear of when the next eviction would come. This is a feeling I'm sure many Denver kids can relate to and could share with you. But you know, it's important because in the third grade, I was attending a school, and I was transferred to a school in the South Denver area. It's more predominantly white, but a more successful school. And teachers began to ask me questions. They said, you know, Nigel, have you ever been tested for learning disability or disadvantage? And I said, no, what are you talking about? Mayor asks me that every day as well, so not much has changed. But, you know, I look back and they came back and said to me, you know, we want to do some tests and just figure out what's going on. And I said, what's going on? Well, here I was, new school, new neighborhood, new everything, and I couldn't read. Third grade, couldn't read, couldn't put together a sentence. An incredible moment for a third grader to be experiencing. Fortunately, that was the same year that my mama submitted the application for me to go to Denver Kids, and I was paired immediately with my mentor, Mark, a man that would change my life forever, an incredible man. Time after time, I now had a team, my mama, Mark, and my gamma, to get me through to that next level and over that ledge. Pay attention. Don't guess, just read. Night after night, we studied and worked, and I got over that ledge in the 5th grade, reading at grade level, and made my way onto Denver School of Performing Arts. Very, very amazing moment. I oftentimes think, what if? What if I never met Mark? What if I never transferred schools? What would my life look like? Would I have gone to college? Would I be here? And, the answer is, I don't know. But it's important to remember that reading and writing weren't the only challenges that I had to endure growing up. But through all those challenges, Mark made sure that when we hung out, he made me and allowed me the opportunity to be a kid. Something that didn't come often. He exposed me to a ton of different opportunities like dogs, and Lord knows if you knew my mama, that was not gonna happen. Snowboarding, hiking, all sorts of things. It's incredible. My whole world opened up, new experiences, a new great love for the state and for the city and for everything that comes with it. But these experiences many times serve as a small ounce of light in the midst of some pretty dark times. It was just a few days before high school graduation, and I woke up to the sound of my grandmother banging on my door. "Help," she said. "Call 911. I jumped up with the greatest urgency I've ever experienced in my life. I picked my heart up off the ground, and I ran as fast as I could to my mom. And while on the phone with 911, my mom and I fought hard, pounding on her chest, praying for her to take just one more breath. And finally, after what felt like a lifetime, the paramedics arrived and immediately got to work. We finally got that breath. She was revived, and she was en route to University Andrews Hospital. But it quickly faded. I remember that morning feeling lost, angry, alone, picking up the phone and calling two people. Called my Aunt Renee and Mark Ballard. Folks, I'm not joking. We left Montbello, Mark Ballard left Wash Park, and we arrived within minutes of each other at University Hospital. You do the math. But at that time, at that moment, I knew that it was going to be okay. I knew that there was love, it was unconditional, and that I was going to be all right. Day after day, we waited and waited. And on April 20th, 2010, my mama let go. As a young boy, I was overwhelmed. How does a 17-year-old kid plan a funeral, help navigate social services on behalf of his little brother, and try to grieve the loss of his mother all at the same time? Well, let me be honest with you. The answer is he doesn't. At least not alone. It's only because of the support of my grandma, Mark, my family, and the community around me that I made it this far. The only reason I'm able to stand here before you today is because of that team and that support web I had to get me this far. Mom, the woman who watched me take my first step, didn't get to see me receive my high school diploma. But Mark did. That's special. But graduating high school felt like I just got a brand new car, new driver's license, full tank of gas. I was on my way. Denver kids helped me get the Daniels Fund Scholarship and the Denver Scholarship Foundation, and I had the honor and blessing of going to Colorado State University in Fort Collins. It's amazing. At CSU, I had the privilege of going to Kenya twice. I worked and taught environmental education. I don't know why. They let me do that. And then I served as student body president my senior year, which was amazing. Immediately after graduation from CSU, I took a job that wasn't the right fit, called up Senator Bennett's office for my time lobbying, and within a month accepted a position and moved to D.C. to work for United States Senator Michael Bennet. I worked and served as his internship coordinator and his staff assistant, and I had the honor of serving in his office for about a year and a half. But over that year and a half, loss was no stranger. I unfortunately lost two of my best friends, one to a severe seizure and one to a severe asthma attack. But through all this loss, I say this to just say that I have a value and an appreciation for life and love that has been not more real for an individual. I've grown up fast, but I've had to learn to value the smallest and the largest aspects of life. And folks, I stand here this morning not as a victim, not as a defendant, not as a statistic, but a blessed young man that has been lifted by so many people, many of which are in this room. I stand here because my grandma never quit, because my teachers never gave up, because the people around me like Kurt Spitra, Judge Daniels, Katie Pullman, Mayor Hancock, and the list goes on, never gave up and took me under their wings. And because Mark and Denver kids, my mentor, my friend, and at times my dad, always showed up and believed in my potential. God, and lastly, my mama. I share this story not for pity, but rather as a reminder to you that you have the power to change a young person's life, to offer kids access and connection to people who can lead them and lead them into more promising futures. They need your respect, not judgment. They need an anchor, not a hero. They need a web of support to form a caring community. I'm here today because of those challenges that I was helped to overcome, and because someone saw value in me, and I encourage you to do the same for another young person. Thank you.